Rankings Week 14. These fantasy football rankings are based on the point per reception, PPR, scoring used in most seasonal and daily fantasy football formats. 1 point is awarded for every 10 rushing and receiving yards and 1 point for every 20 passing yards. 6 points are awarded for touchdowns scored, 4 points for passing TDs and 1 point for receptions. Rankings are compiled by FantasySharks.com. Quarterbacks: 1 Tom Brady N.E at Mia. 2 Drew Brees N.O at al. 3 Kirk Cousins Was. At L.A.C. 4 Dak Prescott Dow. At N.Y.G 5 Alex Smith Casey vs Oak. 6 Philip Rivers L.A.C vs Was. 7 Russell Wilson C. At Jack. 8 Cam Newton Carr. Vs Minutes. 9 Matt Ryan Apple. Vs N.O 10 Matthew Stafford at TB11 Blake Bortles Jack. Vs C. 12 Marcus Mariota 10. Atari. 13 Tyrod Taylor Buff. Vs Indiana 14 Ben Roethlisberger Pitt. Vs Paul. 15 Carson Wentz Phi. At L.A.R 16 Jameis Winston TB vs Dent. 17 Derek Carr Oak. At KC 18 Andy Dalton Sin. Vs Kai. 19 Josh McCown N.Y.J at Den. 20 Brett Hundley GB at Kl. 21 Blaine Gabbert Ari. Vs 10. 22 Case Keenum Minutes. At Carr. 23 Tom Savage Who. Vs SF 24 Jimmy Garoppolo SF at Who. 25 Jacoby Brissett Indiana at Buff. 26 Deshaun Kaiser Cole. Vs GB 27 Jay Cutler Mia. Vs N.E 28 Jared Goff L.A.R vs Phi. 29 Trevor Siemian Den. Vs N.Y.J 30 Joe Flacco Ball. At Pitt. Running backs: 1 Le'Veon Bell Pitt. Vs Paul. 2 LeSean McCoy Buff. Vs Indiana 3 Alvin Kamara N.O at al. 4 Devonta Freeman at al. Vs N.O 5 Mark Ingram N.O at al. 6 Melvin Gordon L.A.C vs Was. 7 Todd Gurley L.A.R vs Phi. 8 Carlos Hyde SF at Who. 9 Rex Burkhead N.E at Mia. 10 Kareem Hunt KC vs Oak. 11 Jamil Williams GB at Kl. 12 Leonard Fournette Jack. Vs C. 13 Jerick McKinnon Minutes. At Carr. 14 Lamar Miller Who. Vs SF 15 DeMarco Murray 10. Atari. 16 Jordan Howard Kai. At Sin. 17 Frank Gore Indiana at Buff. 18 Samaj Perini Was. At L.A.C 19 Kenyon Drake Mia. Vs N.E 20 Dion Lewis N.E at Mia. 21 Tevin Coleman Apple. Vs N.O 22 Alfred Morris Tal. At N.Y.G 23 Christian McCaffrey Carr. Vs Minutes. 24 James White N.E at Mia. 25 Isaiah Crow Okl. Vs GB 26 Marshawn Lynch Oak. At KC 27 Latavius Murray Minutes. At Carr. 28 Peyton Barber TB vs Dent. 29 Joe Mixon Sin. Vs Kai. 30 Duke Johnson Kl. Vs GB 31 Adrian Peterson Ari. Vs 10. 32 Danny Woodhead Ball. At Pitt. 33 Hamir Abdul-Adid. At TB 34 J.J. Phi. At L.A.R 35 Lugaret Blunt Phi. At L.A.R 36 Doug Martin TB vs Dent. 37 Theo Riddick Det. At TB 38 Orleans Darkwa N.Y.G vs Tal. 39 Derrick Henry 10. Atari. 40 Bilal Powell N.Y.J at Den. 41 Matt Forte N.Y.J at Den. 42 Alex Collins Ball. At Pitt. 43 Marlon Mack Indiana at Buff. 44 TJ Yeldon Jack. Vs C. 45 Giovanni Bernard Sin. Vs Kai. 46 Austin Eckler L.A.C vs Was. 47 Corey Clement Phi. At L.A.R 48 Javarius Allen Ball. At Pitt. 49 Jalen Richard Oak. At KC 50 Byron Marshall Was. At L.A.C 51 DeAndre Washington Oak. At KC 52 L.A C. At Jack. 53 Tarek Cohen Kai. At Sin. 54 Jonathan Stewart Carr. Versus minutes. Wide receivers 1 Antonio Brown Pitt. Versus Paul. 2 Keenan Allen L.A.C versus Was. 3 Julio Jones L. Versus N.O 4 Jarvis Landry Mia. Versus N.E 5 DeAndre Hopkins Who. Versus SF 6 Adam Thielen minutes. At Carr. 7 Brandon Cooks N.E at Mia. 8 Mike Evans TB versus Dint. 9 AJ Green Sin. Versus Kai. 10 Golden Tate Dit. At TB 11 Larry Fitzgerald Dari. Versus 10. 12 Michael Crabtree Oak. At KC 13 Michael Thomas N.O at Al. 14 Tyreek Hill KC versus Oak. 15 Devin Funkers Carr. Versus minutes. 16 Days Bryant Dow. At N.Y.G 17 Sterling Shepard N.Y.G versus Dow. 18 Marvin Jones Det. At TB 19 Alshon Jeffrey Phi. At L.A.R 20 Demarius Thomas N. N.Y.J 21 Doug Baldwin C. At Jack. 22 Stephon Diggs minutes. At Carr. 23 Amari Cooper Oak. At KC 24 Marquise Goodwin SF at Who. 25 Devin Adams GB at KL. 26 Juju Smith-Schuster Pitt. Versus Paul. 27 Mark Isley Jack. Versus C. 28 Kenny Stills Mia. Versus N.E 29 Robbie Anderson N.Y.J at Den. 30 T.Y. Hilton Indiana at Buff. 31 Deshaun Jackson TB versus Dint. 32 Robert Woods L.A.R versus Phi. 33 Richard Matthews 10. Atari. 34 Will Fuller Who. Versus SF 35 Danny Amendola N.E at Mia. 36 Emmanuel Sanders Den. Versus N.Y.J 37 Kelvin Benjamin Buff. Versus Indiana 38 Jeremy Macklin Ball. At Pitt. 39 Mike Wallace Ball. At Pitt. 40 Ted Ginn Jr. N.O at Al. 41 Jamison Crowder Was. At L.A.C 42 Josh Doctson Was. At L.A.C 43 Cole Beasley Dow. At N.Y.G 44 Sammy Watkins L.A.R versus Phi. 45 Tyrell Williams L.A.C versus Was. 46 Terrence Williams Dow. At N.Y.G 47 Nelson Aguilar Phi. At L.A.R 48 Brandon Lane Felsin. Versus Kai. 49 Cooper Kupp L.A.R versus Phi. 50 Mohamed Sinuel. Versus N.O 51 Devant Parker Mia. Versus N.E 52 Albert Wilson Casey versus Oak. 53 Josh Gordon Cole. Versus GB 54 Paul Richardson C. At Jack. 55 Jermaine Kearse N.Y.J at Den. Titans 1 Rob Gronkowski N.E at Mia. 2 Travis Kelce Casey versus Oak. 3 Jack Doyle Indiana at Buff. 4 Delaney Walker 10. Atari. 5 Jimmy Graham C. At Jack. 6 Zach Ertz Phi. At L.A.R 7 Jason Witten Dow. At N.Y.G 8 Kyle Rudolph minutes. At Carr. 9 Jordan Reed Was. At L.A.C 10 Evan Engram N.Y.G versus Dow. 11 Charles Clay Buff. Versus Indiana 12 Julius Thomas Mia. Versus N.E 13 Hunter Henry L.A.C versus Was. 14 Cameron Brate TB versus Dint. 15 Tyler Croft Sin. Versus Kai. 16 Jared Cook Oak. At KC 17 Austin Hooper Adel. Versus N.O 18 Vernon Davis Was. At L.A.C 19 Austin Seferian Jenkins N.Y.J at Den. 20 Eric Ebrindit. At TB 21 George Kittle SF at Who. 22 Ben Watson Ball. At Pitt. 23 Lance Kendricks GB at KL. 24 Josh Hill North.O. At Adel. 25 O.J. Howard TB versus Dint. 26 Jermaine Gresham R. Versus 10. 27 Marcedes Lewis Jack. Versus C. 28 David Njoku vs GB 29 Thray Burton Phi. At L.A.R 30 Greg Olson Carr vs minutes. Kickers 1 Chris Boswell Pitt vs Paul. 2 Will Lutz N.O title. 3 Matt Bryan title vs N.O 4 Stephen Gostkowski N.E at Mia. 5 Graham Gano Carr vs minutes. 6 Harrison Butker Casey vs Oak. 7 Matt Brachardit. At TB8 Brandon McManus Den vs N.Y.J 9 Justin Tucker Ball. At Pitt. 10 Blair Walsh C. At Jack. 11 Greg Zuerla in L.A.R vs Phi. 12 Adam Vinatieri Indiana at Buff. 13 Mason Crosby GB at Cl. 14 Dan Bailey Dow. At N.Y.G 15 Stephen Hoska Buff vs Indiana. 16 Robbie Gould SF at Who. 17 Phil Dawson Ari vs 10. 18 Ryan Sup 10. At Ari. 19 Kai for Bath Minutes. At Carr. 20 Travis Coons L.A.C vs Was. 21 Zane Gonzalez vs GB 22 Jake Elliott Phi. At L.A.R 23 Kaimi Fairbairn Who vs SF 24 Josh Lambo Jack vs C. 25 Chandler Catanzaro N.Y.J at Den. 26 Cairo Santos Kai. At Sin. 27 Randy Bullock Sin vs Kai. 28 Nick Rose Was. At L.A.C 29 Patrick Murray TB vs Dint. 30 Giorgio Tavchio Oak. At KC 31 Aldrich Roses N.Y.G vs Tal. 32 Cody Parkey Mia vs N.E Defenses 1 Los Angeles Chargers vs Was. 2 Jacksonville Jaguars vs C. 3 Detroit Lions at TB4 New England Patriots at Mia. 5 New York Jets at Den. 6 Arizona Cardinals vs 10. 7 Dallas Cowboys at N.Y.G 8 Minnesota Vikings at Carr. 9 Green Bay Packers at Cl. 10 Tennessee Titans at Ari. 11 Seattle Seahawks at Jack. 12 Buffalo Bills vs Indiana. 13 Chicago Bears at Sin. 14 Houston Texans vs SF. 15 Pittsburgh Steelers vs Paul. 16 Cleveland Browns vs GB. 17 Indianapolis Colts at Buff. 18 Philadelphia Eagles at L.A.R 19 Baltimore Ravens at Pitt. 20 Los Angeles Rams vs Phi. 21 New York Giants vs Tal. 22 Cincinnati Bengals vs Kai. 23 San Francisco 49ers at Who. 24 New Orleans Saints at Al. 25 Denver Broncos vs N.Y.J 26 Tampa Bay Buccaneers vs Dint. 27 Atlanta Falcons vs N.O 28 Washington Redskins at L.A.C 29 Oakland Raiders at KC 30 Carolina Panthers vs Minutes. 31 Kansas City Chiefs vs Oak. 32 Miami Dolphins vs N.E.